I am going on 10 years now of bringing you guys Ultimate Team content here on this YouTube channel, and there's no better way to start off this year than preparing you guys for EA Sports FC 24 in every aspect of the game. That means making sure you have every advantage, every extra pack that could possibly get into your account, every welcome back pack, preseason pack, bonus pack, everything is in your account at the beginning of the year, as well as making sure that you guys get the version of the game that fits you for the cheapest amount possible, and all of the trading methods that will and won't work at the beginning of the year to give you guys the ultimate head start to Ultimate Team in FC 24. And all I ask in return, guys, subscribe to the channel. That will help me and bring some momentum for us as we head into the new yearly cycle. Now let's start off with the game itself. It's going to cost £100 or $100, depending on if you're buying with Great British Pounds or US dollars for the Ultimate Edition of the game. Now, there's two editions of the game. There's the Standard Edition, which is cheaper at £70 and $70, or the Ultimate Edition, which is £100 or $100. You will notice that on the front page, it will say on FIFA 23, pre-order now and get 10% off, which means that it's taking, if you're buying the Ultimate Edition, $10 off your order. So if you just click it, it'll automatically want you to check out because, I mean, it's EA. The game would be $89.99 instead of $99.99, but then, of course, you have tax, and that can change depending on where you are from. Now, there are also other ways in which you can get gift cards for your console that are a little bit cheaper. There's websites like G2A or Aniba, in which sometimes you can go out and buy a $50 gift card for $42. If you are buying this game with Great British Pounds, you're at a little bit of a disadvantage. As I said, it is both $100 and £100, or $99.99. But if you go to the currency converter anywhere on the internet, you can even use Google, you'll see that the US dollar is worth significantly less right now than the Great British Pound. 100 US dollars is worth just 78.35 in terms of Great British Pounds. So in the end, people that are living in Great Britain and the UK, you guys are paying about £22 more if you consider the conversion for this game on the Ultimate Edition than anybody buying it in the USA. For another £30 or $30, you are getting a decent amount this year in return for the Ultimate Edition. And if you are somebody who plays Ultimate Team a ton at the beginning of each cycle, or you're somebody who really grinds it and wants to get a big head start, you have to buy the Ultimate Edition. That £30 or $30 for me is worth it, because this is the most fun time of the year, is trying to get ahead as soon as possible, make as many coins in those first couple of weeks. And even though that kind of trickles out towards the end of the year, it's definitely a ton of fun at the beginning of the year, and you will get this game 7 days early this time. Now, you used to only get it for 3 days early, and then of course you had those EA Access perks for $5 in the past. That would give you, 10 hours of play, a few more days early. This year, they're going 7 days early access. You get the game a full week before anybody who buys the Standard Edition, and that can be a very big perk. That's the reason you're buying it. Everything else can be considered bonus, but here's another way to justify it in a way. Now, you guys, if you've been following me for a while, will know that I haven't spent a single penny on an EA product in over 6.5 years. It's actually been since FIFA 16 in January when I bought my last FIFA points and the last game. I haven't spent a single dime penny on anything. I've been on boycott ever since then. But this year I have no other way of getting the game other than getting the Ultimate Edition with my own hard-earned money, just like anybody else. And with that being said, that's going to end the drought and end the boycott, because I will be buying the Ultimate Edition. But on top of that, you do get these 4,600 FIFA points, and that on the game is going to be worth almost $40 in itself. So if you were planning on buying FIFA points at any point during the year, I would suggest just get the Ultimate Edition instead, because of course you do get the other perks like getting the game early and the other things listed here on the pre-order bonuses, but you're going to get the FIFA points for a better deal through the Ultimate Edition anyway. And those 4,600 FIFA points are worth a lot more in the very beginning of the game than they would be in January or June or July. At that point, FIFA points really aren't worth anything at all. Now, you do also get a Team of the Week 1 player item. Now, I will say, don't get too excited about this, because 99.99999% of you will get somebody absolutely terrible that you'll never use on anything but SBC fodder, and that's if you're lucky. Now, from that, you also get a UCL or Women's UCL hero item. Now, this is cool, but one thing you do have to note is that you will not get this right at the beginning of the year. This won't come until about 6 to 8 weeks into the game. It'll be November. It'll be kind of later in November, I think, before you'll get this item. It'll be cool, and it might be something good. You have a good chance of getting a usable card out of this, but it won't be at the very beginning of the year. You will have the standard edition, which isn't going to give you a ton of different things. You will get a lone player cover star. You'll get another loan. You'll get another loan. You'll get a club's play style slot, which I believe is going to be the new play styles aspect that they're bringing to the game. Each player has their own play style. Player career personality points if you do play outside of Ultimate Team for these things at the bottom. But realistically, it's just the vanilla version of the game. You're not getting anything extra of value. Nothing here is actually really of value other than, of course, the game itself. So that is the different versions that you're going to be getting of EAFC 24. Now, of course, there's a lot of perks there that we've just covered, but there are a lot of other ways that you need to prepare for this game that you might not have thought about quite yet. First of all, in the last few FIFAs, and of course, it's not going to be called FIFA anymore, so with that being said, will something change over this summer? Possibly. We haven't seen any confirmation yet, but I have a good feeling that we're going to get something called PreSeason. PreSeason, as you guys can see on the left side of your screen, is a promo that they do at the very end of each year. And this was FIFA 22's PreSeason that came out a little later in August. Also kind of was in September as we got closer and closer to the release of the new game. It helps bridge that gap. And at this point, nobody's really playing FIFA 22 to actually improve their team a ton anymore. Of course, you're going for those ultimate 99 rated Fuddies cards, but in reality, people are more excited for EAFC 24 at this point. So what do EA do? They give you objectives in FIFA 23 to keep you engaged with the game, but the rewards will also be shared in EAFC 24. So in FIFA 22, you could get a Kickstarter pack every week that you grinded for in objectives, and granted, those objectives were actually quite difficult at times in comparison to what you get in return. But you also have to consider is you're getting a huge head start on people who wouldn't be doing these objectives. Now, there's two things you need to know about this. One, the rewards are not bad at all. You get 3 rare gold French players, 3 rare gold Brazilians, 3 rare gold Spanish players. That's just in one of the 4 or 5 or 6 Kickstarter packs that they end up doing, depending on how long or how intense this promo ends up being in FIFA 23. We'll see how much rewards we get for EAFC 24. These rewards are not bad, and if you were to buy a pack that had all of this in that pack at the beginning of EAFC 24, it would definitely cost upwards of 50,000 coins. There's no doubt about that in my mind, given the fact that a 12 rare gold player pack with any nation is costing 50k alone. So with that being said, these packs are not bad at all. The second thing that you need to know though is that they're not going to drop immediately on the first day of early access. They're probably not going to drop even within the first 2 weeks. They're pretty slow with this, so you might have to wait 2 or 3 weeks before you actually get these cards. And by then, the cards are not nearly as valuable as they would have been at the very beginning, because we want to get a huge head start from minute number 1. Now, these are definitely still worth doing, but it's not something to expect to get on minute 1, day 1 of the game. But what you can expect to get on minute 1, day 1 of the game is a welcome backpack, or maybe several. Of course, they change this every year, and last year it was the most relaxed it's ever been. As you guys can see on answers.ea.com, so official EA website, this was a question asked last year, and I brought it back just so you guys can see in reference. I've created a new account in the middle of FIFA 22. Will this affect the amount or level of welcome backpacks I receive on FIFA 23, if I receive any at all? And the answer was, there is no amount level when it comes to welcome backpacks. Anyone that played FIFA 22 will be given that standard welcome backpack awards that everyone else gets. I want to go ahead and state that this is true to an extent. To an extent. Not everybody is going to actually get welcome backpacks, because if you didn't create your account before the middle of August, generally, you actually get left with no welcome backpacks. I'm not exactly sure the reason for this, but as somebody who is a veteran of Ultimate Team, if you haven't created your account by the middle of actually the previous FIFA, so at least before August most of the time, you won't get welcome backpacks, because this is to avoid people from making tons and tons of accounts right before the start of the new year in order to get welcome backpacks on a ton of different accounts and kind of figure out which one's the best, or can I transfer any coins over to another account. This is a way that EA takes in precaution to make sure that people are not abusing the system. The next topic of today's video is going to be about trading methods at the beginning of the year. Of course, there are methods that will work a ton for the first couple of days, and that'll give you the huge advantage and the huge coin boost at the beginning of the year. Because I cannot stress enough about the fact that rich get richer if you can get a lot of coins early on. If you take advantage of early access and get quite a few coins, you can invest in meta cards that will rise substantially over the course of the first few days and first few weeks of the game. A card that maybe like an 85 rated Marcus Rashford at the beginning of the year might go for 200,000 coins on day 1 and could be 900k by day number 3 or 4. Those are the kind of card that you want to get to as soon as possible, and it's very doable as long as you attack this the right way. Now, the first thing is the fact that there are going to be different cards in packs at the same time. One of the most awesome trading methods that we've used every single year, which is the out-of-pack trading method, might not work for us this year anymore. That was where we looked at what's going to be in Team of the Week 1 or in Ones to Watch or any of the first promos of the year, and those cards, their gold version, would go out of packs. For example, in this picture, as you guys can see, there's 3 different Erling Haalands. You can only see the back Erling Haaland, the gold one there, but there's 3 different versions of Erling Haaland in that pack that Fut Sheriff had tweeted out. And so Erling Haaland would not be out of packs as the gold card, even though he has a special version in packs. In fact, 2 of them. Now, this is just a concept made by Sahil or Criminal FIFA, so go follow them on Twitter. Full credit to them for this picture, but that is what would happen this year. So Team of the Week, let's say Erling Haaland gets into Team of the Week Week 1, that doesn't necessarily mean that his gold card actually goes out of packs. So making an investment, expecting him to skyrocket because of out-of-pack investing, might not be the meta this year. And one other thing that won't be working for you guys this year is position modifier methods. The position change method has been very common ever since I started trading on FIFA 14. This is a very, very prominent method gone now, because now this year, if you go on to your players that you might want to position change, for example, you might want to take a, let's say you want to go Messi and you want to move him from right wing and make him a center forward. You can do that because he plays both of those positions in real life. I'll actually pull up my squad here on FIFA 23 and I'll give you guys an example of this. Saka right now, he can play both on his alternate positions, right mid and left mid. But if I were to actually move him to right mid or left mid in my team, it wouldn't automatically do that. Now, I'm obviously not in a formation that works for that, so let me go ahead and switch to one with a right mid. Here we go. So if I were to move Saka to right mid in this team, and this was probably not the perfect example because it's behind my camera, but he doesn't automatically change to right wing. from right wing to right mid. I have to apply this right mid consumable to the card to actually get him to go to right mid. That is the position change card this year. Now, in previous years, there were specific position changes from specific positions, right wing to right mid. This year, if they have an alternate position, it's just a base position change card, but next year, it's completely gone. So, if there are cards that go for a lot more at right wing than they did at right mid because of squad building challenges or whatnot, those cards are not going to be able to be traded with this year because you can just buy the card in any position and he'll automatically change for whatever you need his card to change to in your team or in your squad building challenge. Now, in the squad building challenges and in drafts, that's obviously going to make things a little bit easier. Draft has been the worst game mode in the game for a very, very long time. In fact, I have 11 ultimate draft tokens just sitting there because I could not give less of a shit about this game mode. But maybe next year, given the fact that cards will actually go into positions that you want them to, they'll play in positions that they can play in their alternate positions, and you will be able to move them around, it might make it slightly, I'm not saying it will be, but slightly more bearable of a game mode. But I digress. Those trading methods are not necessarily going to work next year. But what I can say will work are two of my favorite trading methods that I use at the beginning of each year. And I'm going to give you actually a bonus trading method at the very end as well. Now, the first one is the 1-2-3 method. This is perfect for finding cards that are going for a decent amount in squad building challenges and getting them on bid. Now, it is August, so maybe in FIFA 23, this won't particularly work a ton anymore, but at the beginning of the year, it always works. It's the 1-2-3 method, and it is also a method that you can change. You can go 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 and do special cards sometimes, but this is basically how it works. You go 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, you throw it on silver or you throw it on gold for the most part, and then you search these cards. It'll give you a list of cards that are listed within that range, and then if there's a card that has a bid on it, you will outbid that card. Now, there's a reason for that. You don't even have to really compare the price unless you're very low on coins. You want to be sure, because if you outbid that person, there's a good chance that they are trying to get a deal on the card as well. And so you outbid them and you'll see if you end up getting that card. Here's another one right here, Lukumi for 1,000 coins. And you have to assume, why would this card have a bid on it if it wasn't in demand? And why would somebody bid on a card if it wasn't less than what their next lowest card is? Now, every now and then you'll have an outlier where you bid on a card and it's actually going for buy now 200 coins cheaper than what you bought it for, but it's definitely an outlier. So you can trust this method for the most part. Nobody's going to be throwing away coins just to screw you over. And generally, you can use that method to pick up some cards, sell them for 200, 300 coins more, and especially after content release, that is a very effective trading method because there's so many cards that got listed on the market, and after an hour of content, after content release, those cards are going to be about to expire. So about 2 p.m. Eastern, about 7 p.m. UK time. That is a perfect time to do this trading method, but of course it works to an extent all day long. Now, the next thing you want to do is, of course, try to invest in meta cards early on. If you make enough coins on those small trading methods like that, then you invest in those cards and you go to sleep, you wake up and those cards sometimes have doubled or tripled in price by the next day. So those cards like Rashford that I mentioned earlier, or Erling Haaland, pretty much any card that you think is going to be meta that a lot of people are using that isn't too overhyped on day number one, that you think isn't actually going to be that good in game or maybe easily packable because they're low rated, anything like that. That is something that I'm going to dig deeper on in future videos. I'm going to give a full video to that trading method as we get closer to that time, but it's definitely one that you want to use. And then you've got the Friday trading method. Now, the Friday trading method is a method in which you are going to invest in the new promo. So the first promo of the year is normally going to be ones to watch. And with ones to watch dropping so early on each year, that Friday, you have a lot of people who have either saved their FIFA points for the ones to watch promo drop or buy more FIFA points or open saved packs. And so there's a lot of supply hitting the market on the first day of ones to watch, which means that there's a lot of options on the market. There's a little bit of undercutting and decent deals. If you buy those cards at a good time on the Friday release, and you can actually sell those cards on an overnight flip. I did this countless times during FIFA 23. It was actually the trading method that made me the most profit throughout the year. But at the very beginning of the year, that can be very effective. You can get a card for maybe an OTW that goes up. He starts the day at 100K. By 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday, he gets down to 60K, and then you buy it at its low point, and throughout the night when people go to sleep and there's not as much supply on the market because people have already opened their saved packs and their FIFA points, the card will go back up in price, and so you can make a lot of coins that way by selling it overnight. And sometimes I've made 400, 500K on a single card in minutes. And that's no exaggeration. And of course, you guys who've followed me throughout FIFA 23 have probably seen a few examples of that. But I invite you to join the community and subscribe to the channel now so that you guys don't miss out on anything in terms of EAFC 24 throughout this year. That's it for today's video. If you learned anything or if it helped you out at all, drop a like on the video, and I'll see you guys again in the next one. Peace out.